Well then, now the spoil sport is gone. We can relax a little. Okay. Smokes. Dear God, she has smokes. Um, yeah. Can I have one? Can we smoke? To tell you the truth, ever since I was turned, I haven't had a chance to buy a pack. Not to mention you didn't really have the money either. Well, of course. Be my guest. Vampire that smokes? Of course, I have everything, I guess. But it makes perfect sense when you think about it. I'm betting you still have some urges from your old life. I guess so. You only tried for just a few minutes and I'm already learning new things. Well, I'm so excited. Excited about what? Your hand like you felt your lungs burning. This is something that definitely didn't seem like cigarette smoke. The hell are you smoking, Doc? That's a cigarette. Marlboro Lights? Why? It's horrible. I mean, worse than usual taste cigarettes. Way worse. It'll probably be the changes in your taste receptors. Oh, right. Missed something about that. It looks like I have to get rid of my nicotine addiction sooner than I thought. So won't be spending a good portion of my income on a poisonous habit, I guess. Huh. How's that for a silver lining? Well, as far as solidarity, I won't smoke here. As a doctor, I should know better anyway. You didn't realize you couldn't smoke anymore? How long ago were you turned? It's only been a couple of days, but it feels like an eternity already. Stuff is happening so fast, and this world is, I don't know, so strange. Oh, you've only begun to scratch the surface. What do you mean? You will see and experience things you've never imagined in your old life. But you will get used to it eventually, and soon your old life will be nothing but a distant memory. Remind yourself of the one thing in your life that will never be a distant memory. The person that deserves what's coming to them, but there was no reason to bring him up as a subject. Yeah, I guess you're right. Oh, tell me, what effect did becoming a vampire have on you? What do you mean? How do you feel now? Liberated by this new experience? Empowered by the strength you now possess? Frightened of your new urges? A bit of everything, to be honest. Sorry, I admitted to myself that yes, I am a vampire. I didn't really get to the point where I could consider what it all means for me. But I am scared and excited and worried and hopeful and everything in between. Yeah, I understand. Being turned out of the blue will be quite a shock for anyone. Eventually, most of your kind tend to regress to a single pattern of behavior. I mean, you know how it is when the hunger gets to you. I don't actually. Alright, I forgot. You must be very excited to try it out. I wouldn't say I'm really excited. Oh, how could you not? The anticipation, the feeling, the pleasure, the danger and addiction. Well, I suppose from that point of view it is a bit different. But you must at least be curious about it. I guess. Hey, could you grab me a cup of coffee? You are closer. Coffee maker is on the table in the back. Yeah, sure. So, you and Zoe, how's she been treating you? Good enough, I think. You've been teaching me the do's and don'ts. She's also been overprotective, so I get where she's coming from. Zoe may not seem like much on the surface, but she's adaptable. Almost empty. I mean, I don't know how much you know, but most outcasts wither and die fast. No coffee in the pot. Never mind then. I'll make a new batch later. Then on the hand, not only survives, but she still holds her own pretty well. You don't mind me getting more comfortable. Oh, not at all. Great. Where was I? Ah, yes. Zoe's resilience is something that should be respected. Is that admiration I hear? I guess, in a way. Though, as an outcast who works for the highest bidder, she sure does try her best to avoid my offers. Listen, I'll be honest with you, Charlie. The reason I wanted for us to share a room without Zoe's presence is to have an exclusive proposal. I like for us to team up, in a way. What do you mean? I mean, wouldn't it be nice to have someone who has their ear to the arbitration in your corner? Someone who'd be willing to stitch you up when you get hurt. It could be of much use to you. Right, and in return you want... I want nothing much for myself, and nothing that would compromise your relationship with Zoe. What I want is for the good of everyone, truly. Yeah, but in practical terms, you're talking about what? Oh, that's special. Maybe help me with some things here and there. What are some things here and there? I'm taking some items that I don't have the time or capabilities to acquire myself. Maybe helping me with some experiments. Only if you would like to participate. Trust me, I could offer you many incentives, so you will be well compensated. And seeing how you have not yet tasted anyone, maybe I could provide some assistance with that as well. I know that you have urges, and I could assist you with them, if you catch my meaning. No, let's go. Isn't that dangerous? Why would you do that? The information that will further my research will be quite invaluable to me. Since I've never heard or read any testimony from a victim of vampire attack, this situation presents a unique opportunity. Did they have tiny little hairs on the side of her face? I have the chance to experience it myself and to see how it affects a virgin vampire. You stop calling it that? Fine. You don't have to worry. I don't bite. That's your job. If it makes you feel better, think of this as an ordinary business transaction. I can help you with something, show you a glimpse at what I could do for you. And in return, I will naturally consider maybe helping me out sometime. Isn't that fair? What you're proposing is really dangerous. Well, don't be silly, Charlie. I'm a scientist first and foremost. This is my little insurance policy. The hell is that? Taser? And relax, it's just a taser. Still a jab, but this little thing should knock you out for a few moments. Maybe a bit more. It shouldn't be longer than 15 minutes. 15 minutes? Jesus. What? I need to make sure it works ever, even against an apex predator such as yourself. So it's a precaution. Besides, electrical shock is nothing compared to what happens to me if you lose control. Yeah, guess that's fair. Now, do we have a deal? Doc, does having a warm body this close to you not invoke anything deep inside of you? Nothing at all? No, I mean, it does. Enough to make you want to take a bite? Nah, not the neck. I don't think I'm wearing a scarf until the mark heals up. Right? Good second choice. No long sleeves for me either. Where then? You know, you can hide in a matter of minutes from a minor leg wound. Femoral artery. Most of the blood coursing through the leg passes through it. It's actually one of the worst places to be bleeding from. One might not even realize they are in mortal danger before it's too late for any kind of meaningful help. The closer the wound is to the torso, the less the chance you'd have to survive. But even a small puncture at the right place will result in a gushing of sweet, delicious blood. Right here. Near the thigh is where the main artery passes through. Such a secluded spot, and yet filled with such sweet delight. This lady's insane. You can't help but gulp loudly at the way she sensually describes how delicious she is. For you in more composed state of mind, you probably find her Bay presentation strange, but you were busy listening to the deafening pounding in your head. Her cookie rises, face poking out and mouth watering. You go up again as you witness your body moving on its own. Okay, I guess we're doing this. That's it. Come. Feast. Okay. Wherever necessary, you are too far gone to listen anyway. The erratic nature of the whole performance would have aroused you immensely in your previous life. But at this moment, your other urges have completely taken over. Be careful. Breathing deep as you hear Doc sighing loudly. But again, her words wash over you and you disappear in the tide of your hunger and something else. There are no words that could describe what you felt at that moment except for pure bliss. Nothing ever compares will ever come close to the feeling of satisfaction, but you felt there was more. The feeling of familiarity. You felt anxiousness. You felt fear and sorrow and excitement and arousal. But you knew none of those feelings came from you. This is what Alice was feeling. These were her experiences, her feelings, her thoughts. But there was something else. Something is wrong. You didn't know how long it had been since you've taken her in, but it was long enough to realize she won't be coming out. You withdraw behind your cover to take a moment and collect your thoughts. Does it matter if you lose access to her, maybe forever? Not really. She has led you to someone apparently more important higher up the ladder. A ladder you didn't even know existed up until now. It seemed that rather than being solitary, predators, these vampires for lack of a better word, were actually social creatures. All I had to do was now to follow up the thread and see where it goes. You felt a little guilty about your previous subject, so easily leaving your thoughts. For the last couple of weeks, you grew somewhat fond of her. Well, fondness might be too strong of a word. Pity, yes. Pity seemed like a better fit. The research into her provided less and less new information with each passing day, and for the most part, you were relegated to a role of a witness to her bouts of insanity and bloodlust. You stopped worrying about your own safety long ago, as she was myopic in her rage and frustration. She said one victim after another, as if on a mad search for something none of them could give her. Wincing the rage and despair after her victims expired in her hands made you feel compassion, strangely more for her than the ones she killed. Maybe because she was more familiar to you than the people she had murdered. That's the door opening. One of the guards who had dragged your subject inside came out with the giantess, whom you assumed was their boss. You were thankful again for the acoustics of the alley, and the fact that this place was far enough from the city's bustle, which is probably the reason these creatures chose it for your, not new venue, but their venue. She is all goddamn. Clean cut as always, madam. I am quite envious. It's the best you can do. What? Are your new orders to step up to me? And Roger, I don't know what. Spare me. Just make sure your little report mentions I perform my duties as expected. Now, go bring the car around. I don't want to use the main exit. Yes, madam. Right away. She saw your ass. At this point, you had managed to keep your wits intact, but that was going to do the sheer force of will. Now panic grips your frozen body as your mind screams in terror. Did she see you? No, she couldn't have. What would you even do if she did? You can't outrun them. There's nowhere to hide. Actually, change my mind. Let's go help out with the cleanup. Understood. You dare not to move nor breathe, even after your lungs start hurting, and you start feeling the pressure building up in your skull. You only breathe out once you hear the beautiful sound of the door opening and closing again. It doesn't mean that she actually went through the door. She could just be giving you a false sense of safety. This was way too close. But at least you'll live to see another day. You know I teach you it's rude to listen to other people's conversations. Yeah. You snap back to your feet as fast as humanly possible, only to face plant to the giantess bosom and bounce off of it. You don't have time to act as the giantess' arms grab hold of you. I don't suffer, spies. She carelessly lifts you up and pins you to the wall, your leg failing almost comically, and you frankly try to think of a way to save yourself. Hey, wait. Stop. I can help you. No, you can. You smell nice. Tasty. Here for a reason. You have to listen to me. Diana stops her motion, waiting for you to continue. She is pretty though. I do more. Diana continues holding you in her steel grip, one side loosened up by what you were hoping was hesitation. She moves her face close to yours and slowly opens her mouth. Okay, I can't see. Oh, with a flash of light, you are thrust back into your own body, maybe louder and disoriented. You immediately look towards Alice, slumped on the table. You cannot see her face, but her quiet moments are enough to confirm she's at least still alive. We do get an eyeful of a pair of beautiful black lace. Okay. Flimsy material not doing much to hide her tasty manicure. Cubic public hair. Ryan. Please no. And about this unexpected and disturbing chain of thoughts. Doc, are you okay? Doc, can you hear me? Is she? I guess. Well, she's alive, so it's good. But is she okay? Why did you stop? I think you might be suffering from some side effects. Snaps out of a trance, and after a second of confusion, focuses her eyes on you. Doc? I expected it would be feel that good. But I expected enough to expect something, so does it count? You felt good? To know that what had happened? What you saw? You kidding me? I was aroused from the second you plunged in. Felt great. Looked like you were the only one aware of how personal the moment you shared was. It's as I suspected. Some kind of new aphrodisiac being injected or something. I'll have to run a full blood work on myself, finding a chance to maybe get a sample of the vampire secretions. You know, knew that if Zoe were here, she'd tell you to shut your mouth. Though you may have had some differences, she'd probably be the right in this case. I see that you are still excited as well. Just a reflex. Could be. Then again, I've never heard of a vampire getting horny after feeding, so I guess you found my blood extra sweet. Or maybe you really do have some leftover urges from your old life. Thought formed in your mind, or better said, reappeared. Image her glistening. Oh, okay. Image only increased pleasure in your pants, and maybe you twitch with excitement, and she will probably be willing as well. No. How about no? Let's just relax. Take a mental pause. Remember that Zoe said about being cautious, and you know that pursuing Doc wouldn't be a wise decision. But Zoe could literally walk in any moment, and then it'd just be all bad. That's how not to wait for your reply any longer and continues. So it is something that we could explore in the future. Wherever traveling, we can help each other, but much more than exploring some simple carnal interactions. But for now, I require some time to run some tests. You shall leave. Alright, I guess we're done here. One last thing, actually. How can I reach you? I have a new email address that you could... Perfect, write it down before you go. Right? With your weird conversation apparently finished, you decide to head back to Zoe and fill her in on your talk with Doc. Coming. Oh, she looks normal. What did you do with your hair? It's getting too long. I had to shorten up a bit. I had nothing else planned for tonight anyway. I left it open in case Doc had some relevant information to share that I could follow up on. What a waste of time that was. So, did Doc convince you to let her poke and prod you? Yeah, we had an interesting conversation. Oh, do tell. Well, Doc wanted to make me an offer. Help her with her research, and in exchange she'll put me in a good word with arbitration. Interesting. And what was your answer? I said I'd think about it. Smart answer. Keeps your options open. I thought it would go something like that. Nobody wants the Doc. The good Doc to poke and prod around their innards, not unless they have to. Unfortunately, it seems the arbitration has kept her hands off of her work so far. She can't compel anyone to assist her. She must be pretty desperate by now. How much of a researcher if you don't have anything to research, right? There's more. She offered to let me to feed on her. And I took her offer. Now, before you say anything, hear me out. She's gonna kill you. Oh my god. She's fine, I'm fine, everything went fine. And it was amazing, but what? Something happened again. Okay, Charlie, you need to practice getting to the point in once in this one left, instead of dragging it out like you were in a fucking soap opera. Okay, fine, I was drinking her, but I started seeing something. Not feeling something, I felt like I was her. I saw something. I saw a memory of hers, I think. I mean, it had to be. It was so vivid, and I felt what she felt. I saw what she saw. I thought her thoughts. That's not supposed to happen, right? So what you're saying is that while you were drinking her blood, you what? Possessed her? No, at least I don't think so. Like I said, it was more a memory about something we had talked about. I was just a passenger in her mind. What did you talk about? What was it a memory of? I remember asking her how she got to work for arbitration, her being a human and all. And she told me that she was a fallen unhinged vampire who eventually got caught by arbitration. And then she studied arbiters and eventually approached them with an offer of cooperation. And that's all that memory. What I saw was different. What did you see? I was in a dark alley, seemed familiar. I think it was one behind the warehouse where you gave me a lift on your bike. She was following arbiters' men, took her subject away from her. She was hiding and she was scared and worried. Worried that they would kill her subject and that she would be left with nothing to work on. She was scared about being caught. Anyway, the arbiter came out with one of her henchmen and they argued, and then I saw arbiter looking in her direction, but they just went back inside, or so she thought. But the arbiter didn't actually go back inside, said she surprised her and grabbed her. And that's when it ended. To tell you the truth, I nearly pissed my pants when I don't know what to call it, back in my body. Really? Do you believe me? I believe you. You do? Is this one of our powers? Well, you heard the doc. They don't have any powers. Then again, to me, she is as clueless as we are. Is this normal? Fuck no. Definitely not something that was supposed to happen. Otherwise, I already have told you. Yeah, I figured. So what does this mean? Oh, Shirley, I know even less than I knew yesterday. You're obviously some kind of anomaly. We'll just have to widen our search. Now we'll start doing that tomorrow. Throw some bait in the water, see if something catches. Maybe talk to some of the more eccentric members of our kind. Maybe they know something. You think that'll help? Fuck no. They are as crazy cuckoo as far as I'm concerned. So I gotta try something. I don't want to end up sitting next to you while you turn into a big ass demon and start spouting crap about conquering the world or something. That would be cool for me though. Yeah, as long as I'm not around. Don't worry, I'll figure something out. But I have something I want to show you. Come inside. I've been scanning for news lately and I finally found what I was looking for in today's evening papers. And that is... You'll see. Turn to page 13. 2 injured in a gang-related shootout. Below that, the body of a 24-year-old male found at the river Itchio. Unknown cause of death. Police will notify family members of deceased. Andrew. This is me. Yes, the operation was a success. Again, the email address. Suspect to his email soon. I'll be just finished working on your new identity. Charlie, did you zone out? Are you okay? Of course you were not okay. This was the final nail in the proverbial coffin of your old life. If being an allegory, the last string that kept you connected to it being your corpse. Even that was fake. The corpse of the poor bastard ended up paying you. Big as your new name and identity. You felt melancholy and sickness. Sure you didn't get that far or had much to show for it, though it's still your life. Your accomplishments, such as they were. Now destined to fade into history or into nothingness since you were the only one who remembered or cared about them. I'll be fine. I guess that's it then. Yes, for better or worse. This is the end of that story. You should get some sleep. You probably need some rest. Before you go, bug bags, put them in the freezer, not freezer, but fridge, and we'll talk tomorrow. Alright then, sounds like a good idea. Alright, I need to leave the blood to cool. Hopefully the fridge works. Then I need to check my emails and then wind down. I figure shit out. Okay. Let's see our character screens. So right now, Promise is 10, Agility is 5, Intimidation is 15, Charm is 4, Science is 4, Survival is 10, and Esoterics is 2. Control is 1, Energy is 2 of 3, and we still have no money. Traits are pretty much unknown. Okay. Glossary. Oh. Fuck Jason. Who knows who that is, but yeah, she is tall as hell. He's just a bouncer. Hopefully we see Claire again. She seemed nice. Piece of garbage, Joey. Scary woman. Scary woman. Alright. Place the book back in the fridge, find your phone, and check your email. The fridge looks brand new. It does look brand new. Place the blood bags in there. Okay, that's done. The email. Alright, now someone's at the door. I don't know if it's Zoe, but we'll see. Oh. The arbiter wants to see us. Fuck. Fuck indeed. Unknown location sometime later, and we did not get the chance to tell Zoe. Nice place you got here. So it's not treatment, huh? Wait here. Wait for what? When you get back, bring some chips. I got really cranky when I don't have my snacks. Yeah, very nice guy. We had such a chip on his shoulder. Maybe he's the cranky one. Now that cranky left, you and I can finally have a nice chat. It really is a nice room. Like the styles, neoclassical, maybe Art Deco, or is that just for buildings, but not furnishing? You know, the side of statue looking like you got going on really creeps me out. Your response, then again, from what you remember, the warehouse, Bully here wasn't that talkative anyway. I really don't mind the state I was in last time we met. Terribly sorry you had to drag me around. I'll be careful and drink less next time. Not even the muscle jitter. You don't get any information out of this robot. You don't mind if I make myself a bit more comfortable, do you? It's up to you to figure out why you are here. Definitely not execution. Probably. Nice picture. It's not like you have much experience, but from your own judgment, the one you saw in Doc's mind, you don't think they will murder people in their fancy houses. Is it the original? That's you worth quite a bit. So if not that, then what is it? Draft information? More likely scenario. Well, both Amelia and Alice could have said something that could throw suspicion about your, well, what you are, but how plausible would it be for them to act so swiftly? Speaking of plausibility, Doc was out of it when you took a trip down her memory lane. And Amelia? All you know about Amelia is what Zoe told you, and that's not much. But she remembered everything, spilled the beans, and they believed her every word. Zoe said everyone would try to find a way to exploit your abilities or hunt you down. Is that what this is all about? They want to force you to do their bidding? You know, saying you catch more flies with milk than honey. Besides, they suspect that you can control the vampires. Why would they send this bald and cranky to bring you here? It makes no sense to put them in position where they be turned against their masters, unless they are somehow immune to your abilities. So listen there. I would arbitrarily want to see you. And then somebody hits you. It's the blonde vampire from the club, of course. They found her and want you to identify her. That makes the most sense, right? Madam Arbitrary will see you now. But you need more time to think. Right now? Oh, right now. I'm coming. Alright. You ushered into the adjacent room where you take a moment to study and evaluate it. The only other person in it was Arbiter, sitting comfortably behind a large, heavy desk. The vampire that made you was nowhere to be seen. Does that mean they wanted to kidnap you to use your powers? Doesn't seem like there was any other exits apart from the one behind you. Standing in the door was Baldy. Part of all the room was covered in windows, but even if you did manage to jump through, you don't know what was waiting on the other side. And even if everything went smoothly, how far would you get before they called up to you? Madam Arbiter. And there they were. Red blood, red coat and sword, tucked away in the corner but still close to her reach. Here he is. Here he is. Leave us. Well, but leave. Allow the door closed behind you. Seeing sound of footsteps told you that the two would not be disturbed in whatever dealings she had planned. You think with less people in the room, you feel more at ease, but being alone with this woman didn't really make you feel safer. After all, she did come close to killing you once. Hello? Everyone was still ignoring you, shuffling and reading various papers. Her expression didn't change much, apart from an occasional fleeting frown. Their eyes darted across whatever she was reading. You started gingerly making your way to the center of the room. Oh, here I am. In a moment which seemed in your hand as ours, she finally looked your way, locking her eyes with yours. She slowly leaned back in her chair, still silent, but maintaining that intense stare. It reminded you of the first time she looked at you, as if trying to pierce through your skin and see what lies beneath it. This time it was no different. Charlie. Okay. A long pause followed. She didn't say anything else, and you dare not open your mouth. Have a seat. Y'all exhale, interrogation or whatever this was, hasn't even begun, but you're still glad for this momentary pause from the intensity of her glare. Well, that glare would gaze. Tell me, how have you been these last couple of days? Finally, a few words out of her, something to focus on rather than the darker thoughts that were twisting and turning in your mind. You clear your throat before responding curtly. Fine. Fine. She was mulling the word as if it was some strange dish she tasted for the first time. How have you been acclimating to your new life as a vampire? I heard that you were living with Zoe now. We in the same building, yes. Then we find an apartment right across the hall. Convenient. That way you're close to each other. Yeah. And how has Zoe been treating you? She teach you what it is to be a vampire? Yeah, it's all going fine. Just fine. She would show me the ropes, explaining what I should do, bringing me to her to meet. You were that some of our acquaintances were not on the up and up, as far as arbitration was concerned. To meet with Doc. Yes, Dr. Alice. You told me your visit was fruitful. One way to put it. Is this what this is all about? The Doc said something about you? I'm glad. She's had difficulties finding willing participants for her research. Well, I'm glad you are acclimating to your new life. I can thank Joey for that. Well, not Joey. Why the fuck I say Joey? Zoe. She's been with me every step of the way. I do not doubt that. After all, you two share much in common. We do? Of course, didn't. She didn't tell you. Her creator was executed by my hand for making her into a vampire and for other crimes. Zoe was lucky enough to be adopted by a surrogate creator, just like you. I see. This is why Zoe has a bone to pick with arbiter. Fortunately, her adopted creator has some radical ideas that made her an enemy of the arbitration. By the time her intentions were surfaced, she already proclaimed Zoe was instructed in her own ways. In our ways. So at least Zoe evaded prosecution, but she found herself again without a mentor. Being an orphan not once but twice made Zoe a pariah in our society, and that in turn made her even more of a recluse. Not that she was that sociable to begin with. This moves of her adopting you, I feel it will do good for her. I'm glad you two were getting along. Thanks, I think we made a good team. Now that you have some time to process all that has been happening to you, you maybe remember something new about the night you were given the bite. Something new that you could tell me about your creator. Sorry, apart from what I already told you, I don't know anything more. She tried to get in touch with you since then. No, at least not to my knowledge. I see. In case she does, it is our utmost important that you contact me or someone from arbitration as soon as possible. Do you understand that? Yeah, I mean, yes, of course. Tall woman. Your creator broke one of our most important laws. One of the laws that guarantee the safety of our kind. If she did that on a whim, who knows what she is up to right now. This could not be tolerated, and she needs to answer for what she did to you, and for whichever other crime she's committed. This needs to be contained fast. Yes, of course, I completely agree. Good, but that's not the main reason I wanted you here. See, there's more? Yes. You seem more involved than most of our kind. Visit the doctor, Ellie approves as much, as does your cooperation. And you keep the kind of company that could do well with something that needs to be looked into. There's something I can use your assistance with, Charlie. There has been a murder tonight. The man has been found dead, probably beaten to death, but there is a possibility he was extinguished before death. You know what that term means? He was drained of blood. It's horrible. Morality of such an act aside, whoever did it left the body in the dumpster in the bad part of town, where it was discovered soon after by the garbage man. I don't think I need to emphasize how this sort of attention is very bad for us, even at the best of times. Sorry about the man, but what does that have to do with me? You don't think I did it, do you? No, I don't. Your visit to the hospital coincides with the time frame of the murder. And having an alibi makes you an adequate candidate for a job that needs doing. Me? I don't see how this is the case. You became a vampire at a very interesting time. A meeting is going to take place in the city soon, hosted by Duke Mohelia. Do you know who he is? Leader of the Mohelia clan? Correct. It's a very rare occasion. Decades pass between these kinds of meetings, and planning for the next one usually starts as soon as the previous one is finished. The objective of all the clans is to send either their leaders or elder members. This meeting will be no different. However, consolidating moves are being made, and as always, when such scheming occurs, it brings a lot of attention to this city from people who see an opportunity. There is a marked influx of new faces arriving lately, and the closer we are to the meetup, the more outsiders show up. Outsiders that are pursuing unknown agendas for themselves or their masters. Outsiders that many decide to risk going against the rules of arbitration and pursue their goals. Outsiders that may dare wreak havoc in my city. It is my obligation to prevent these infractions, and I take my obligations very seriously. Unfortunately, I do not have the necessary resources to keep my eye on everyone that could present a potential threat to this meeting or our society as a whole. And this is where you come in, Charlie. Sometimes murders like this one end up as stories in the newspapers. But that story is not getting any traction, but someone still needs to investigate. And if this is indeed the work of a vampire, we need to make sure no unnecessary attention comes our way. Hold on, what? You want me to investigate a murder? I'm not qualified to do all that. I was the office clerk just a few days ago, for heaven's sake. You don't need to investigate the murder, unless you feel that it is necessary. Like I said, I'm mostly interested in making sure this event stays away from the public eye, finding out if this is something arbitration needs to be involved in. Don't you have your own people to do this sort of thing? Well, you do usually, but as I said, they are indisposed. I can't really ask any of the dukes or the baroness's men to help with this matter. In this case, I'm forced to seek outside help. Believe me, if I had anyone more reliable on hand, I asked them. Even Zoe would do. Well, thanks for the vote of confidence, but why me then? And I go to Zoe. Zoe can be headstrong at times. That's it? Number the explanation, unless being encrypted was the goal. So what exactly do you expect me to do? Play costume robbers with a psycho vampire killer? And headstrong Zoe? What? Again, I expect from you just two simple things. See that this does not suddenly become a newsworthy story, and find out if the killer was a vampire. Especially to deal with this with or without Zoe's help. Whichever the case, you should talk to the doctor tomorrow. She has been tasked with performing her own analysis on the autopsy report as soon as it reaches her. If this incident is a result of careless vampire, or if someone starts poking around, you need to inform me as soon as possible, night or day. My men will give you a number you can always reach me on, as well as my email address. Any questions? Nope. I'll figure it out as I go. Very well, Charlie. I will be needing you for anything else tonight. Hope you will prove yourself to be the right person to deal with this issue. You can show yourself out. With that, she returned her papers, again ignoring your resistance. I guess I'll do just that. Another pain in your ass is if you don't have enough problems of your own. You're supposed to be a vampire, very overpowered, a monster, but this looks more and more like your old job, doing shitty errands for whoever is up the chain. Though getting some money and maybe your favorite from Archer herself, best not get ahead of yourself, so have an investigation to perform. First thing on the agenda is to talk to Zoe about all this, see what she has to say. Alright. So, about a good time what you need to say, because that was a lot to take in. Honestly. So that was the bite, Revenant. I do not remember which part we are on, but hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Definitely was extremely chaotic, I guess, in a way, a good sort of type of chaos. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Shoot, got to speak with the arbitrator for the first time. That was insane. With that being said, I'm just gonna end it here, just because we are almost an hour in, pretty close to that mark. If you want to play this game for yourself, of course, everything will be in the description below. Pretty up to you if you want to wait for the next part to come out. If not, it's totally fine. My sinuses are a bit messed up right now, so I'm a bit stuffy, but still wanted to play this game for y'all, and also I was just curious as to how this is gonna develop. Let's see. Here's all the in-game music, I guess. Licensed by CC license. But yeah. Also, if y'all like the video, don't hesitate to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And with that being said, I'm going to end it here. So if y'all had a good day, a good yesterday, and better tomorrow. And I will catch y'all in the next video.